Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Crusade with me. Today, we enter the silence. Today is Holy Saturday. This is the day between the day after the cross, the day before the resurrection. And yet, it's not an empty day. It is, as the Orthodox tradition so profoundly teaches us, the blessed Sabbath, the day of rest. Not a rest of comfort, but a rest of mystery, of grief, of waiting, and of hope. Join me now as we journey through that long, quiet Saturday, as we ask, where are the disciples and what are they doing? What are they feeling? And what does the silence say to us today? Let's begin where Good Friday left off. Jesus is dead. His body has been taken down from the cross and is now lying in a tomb, sealed behind stone. It is Saturday, the seventh day, the Sabbath. The Gospel of Luke tells us plainly, then they returned and prepared spices and ointments. On the Sabbath they rested according to the commandments, in Luke 23:56. And so they waited. Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, the other women who followed Jesus, the disciples, scattered, hiding in fear. Peter, maybe still weeping. John, maybe still holding Mary, the Mother of God. The air is thick with sorrow, with questions, with a terrifying unknown. What now? They had believed. They had followed. They had seen miracles, heard teaching that cut the heart open like a sword. They had seen Lazarus raised. They had believed that this Jesus was the Christ. And now, he's gone. Dead. Buried. Just like any other man. What do you do when the one you thought would save you is buried in a tomb? Holy Saturday is silent, but it is not empty. In Orthodox tradition, it is called the Great Sabbath, because on this day, Jesus, the Son of God, truly rested. He had completed his work on the cross. He had said, "It is finished." And then, as the Creed tells us, he descended into Hades. Today, Hades cried out, groaning, should not have accepted the man born of Mary. He came and destroyed my power. He shattered the gates of brass. He raised the souls I had held captive. This is from the ancient Orthodox liturgy of Holy Saturday. While we on earth are wrapped in silence, Christ is at work in the depths. He descends, not as a victim, but as a conqueror, to destroy death, to free Adam and Eve, to pull the righteous from the grave. The church fathers speak of this as Christ's victory in the underworld. St. Epiphanius wrote, "Something strange is happening. There is a great silence on earth today, a great silence and stillness. God has fallen asleep in the flesh. He has raised up all who have slept ever since the world began." This day, then, is not just mourning. It is mystery. It is a cosmic battle. It is the first trembling of resurrection. But the disciples didn't know any of that. To them, Jesus was gone. Maybe they remembered what he had said, that he would rise again on the third day. But even if they did, how could they believe it now? They had seen the blood. They had heard him cry out. They had felt the earth shake when he died. To them, Saturday was not about resurrection. It was about trauma. Have you ever sat in a hospital hallway waiting for news you're afraid to hear? Have you ever walked away from a funeral, wondering how to go on? Have you ever felt the numbness of unanswered prayer? That was Holy Saturday for them. Maybe Peter replayed his denial over and over again. Maybe Thomas sat alone, trying to rationalize the pain. Maybe John whispered Psalm 22 under his breath. My God, why have you forsaken me? Maybe Mary Magdalene didn't sleep. Maybe the Virgin Mary sat in silent agony, remembering Simeon's words. A sword shall pierce through your own soul also. And yet, they stayed. They didn't run. They didn't give up. Not completely. They waited. Even in the silence, even in the grief, they stayed close. Holy Saturday is about waiting. For us modern day crusaders of faith, this waiting is everything. We, too, live in the in between. Christ has died. Christ is risen. But the world is still broken. We are still waiting for the fullness of the kingdom. We are still watching wars, sickness, sorrow, and doubt. We are still grieving, still longing for the tomb to be empty. But today reminds us God is at work in the silence, even when we cannot see it. Holy Saturday teaches us how to wait, not with despair, but with hope. Because even though the disciples didn't know it yet, Sunday is coming. Holy Saturday is not a funeral. It is the first whisper of victory. In the Orthodox tradition, the morning liturgy known as the Vesperal Divine Liturgy of St. Basil is filled with light. The priests wear bright vestments. The altar is covered in white. Bay leaves are scattered across the floor, symbols of triumph. Why? Because Christ is harrowing Hades. The tomb is becoming a womb. The stone is about to be rolled away. And as we chant in that liturgy, arise, O God, judge the earth, for you shall have the inheritance among all the nations. This is the day death begins to die. So what do we do with Holy Saturday? We wait. We trust. We grieve honestly, but not as those who have no hope. If you are in a season of silence, if your prayers feel like they're hitting a stone wall, if your heart feels buried in grief, hold on. Wait like the disciples waited. Wait like Mary waited. Wait like the church has waited through generations. Because Christ is doing something in the dark. He's working behind the stone. He is descending into your deepest pain to shatter its gates and to bring you out. This is Crusade with me. And today, we keep vigil. We hold the line between death and life, between grief and joy, between the cross and the empty tomb. Let us wait well, my friends. Let us not abandon the silence, because Sunday is almost here. Christ is already moving, even now, even here. I'll meet you tomorrow morning at the empty tomb.